But it did happen. Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone. Welcome to Roll With It Behind the Rolls, our recap for episode 18. And with me today, I have the lovely Light and Spelsy.
Hello.
Hi again.
Hi again. And let me get rid of
It's been
this.
a little bit since I've been on the Behind the Rolls.
Yeah, and I need to change all the artwork for this.
Yeah, you do.
It was
Especially since
busy.
I don't have the reactive one on this one. But yeah, hello everyone. We had a fun session yesterday, and we're gonna talk about it. Where we left off, episode 17 was like a big, like chapter, the end of the chapter, I guess. A big fight. And if you've not watched that, there we have the recap for that episode last week, and we have the full session as well that you can watch on the playlist. But just in case, do you want to tell them a little bit about what happened in episode 17? Like,
Yeah, so they got to fight the Red Hand. The Red Hand has been basically a menace throughout the different seas, countries, villages, city, you name it. They're a big organized group, and finally, for some odd reason, the captain was being hunted. So she took it. That's about 16. Yeah, episode 16 to 17. And so she decided, you know what, it's time to go to war. And talked to the 7 pirate lords. They agreed. And then they all last or episode before when the fight, and what was revealed was as soon as the demigod killed the captain, she dropped some dice, and basically the dice set the fate of the Red Hand as the ships begin to disappear. And this was a cue for the 7 pirate lords to engage. And during that time, our wonderful heroes, companions, adventurers, whatever you want to call them, was tied up, and a certain undead monkey appeared trying to help. The captain did show up on a tentacle, ended up stabbing the demigod with like a sliver of the sword that shattered. That can, well, she said it can kill a demigod. So he felt pain. The ship kind of came back to life ish, whatever. Tossed the rest of the Red Hand off board and flinging him across as they, won the fight. And she ended up being a goddess of the seas and storms and favors. So yeah, that was episode 17.
yeah. Again, we get in much more detail and talk about things in our recap episodes. But yeah, and now we're here. This was actually kind of a simpler episode. We were, a lot of traveling, a lot of getting ready for what's coming ahead. And so
Mhm.
we might get through it pretty quickly, but we find out in a little while that we only have a couple of days travel. We didn't actually find out until a little bit into the episode because nobody really bothered to ask. But it turns out that the ship had taken a portal, and we were going to be at Felu, or we are going to be at Felu a lot quicker than we actually anticipated, which is awesome. So we took the day to do a couple of things. Vorn tried his hand at praying again, kind of. It's not really praying what he's doing. But
Or like trying to talk at it.
yeah, just say things and hope things happen. But was there really anything before that?
Um,
Trying to think, not to
the only
get.
thing that was before, yeah, actually, when the captain, then episode 17 to 18, that she basically, it's like, we need to basically get going, get the ship back at sea. But the ship actually took some hits, so it started mending itself. So it's going to take a little bit. And during that time, the seven pirate lords were still battling, but some of them were turning around, coming towards the ship, as the rest of their crew, their ships, was trying to, get rid of the Red Hand, which some of them did escape. Eventually, they did come and asked to be aboard, and the Voodoo Queen said that, we heard something in the winds, and a couple of the adventurers decided to listen. I think it was Euphemia and Nyx, while the rest kind of like just didn't. um, and then the winds, it basically said a goddess of the seas has been born, and so the seven pirate lords respect it. This is the first time that anybody knows in the current history that there is a god slash goddess of the seas. And, well, pirates are from the seas, so they're going to respect her and maybe even follow her. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like her life is going to get very interesting, and maybe in a lot of ways that she doesn't even want. But um, I know someone like Voren would be like, "Fuck that."
That shit.
Not my problem. um, but I think we're all a little bit like, it's interesting. We also, I think, all have our individual questions about it and what exactly it means for us to have this goddess on our side. But also, if she was part of the dream and part of the individuals that we're supposed to gather, how is this going to change things moving forward? So I think a lot of dynamics are going to be a little different because of that. But we'll jump off that bridge when we get to it because we're going home.
Yep. Well, yours and Magpie's home.
Right. Vornix's excited to go back home. I don't know how everybody else. I think everybody is a little relieved to be getting off the ship for a while and heading back to a place that is no longer new to them, but because we just kept going from strange place to strange place on the ship. So I think it'll be kind of cool. What do you guys think?
I'm the DM, so I go with the flow.
I would say Euphemia is kind of a little relieved to be back in a form of civilization, but also with the information she knows, she's kind of nervous.
With the information in regards to like the werewolves?
The werewolves.
Yeah. That's gonna be. I'm very curious about that, but it hasn't really come up as much, or we haven't stopped to discuss it. So, and we also don't know really how much it's gonna affect, near Felu or the people. But it is something that should be like in the forefront of our minds. Like this is happening around, and yeah, I like over the table OOC. I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like we'll see what's gonna happen with that. But I know that, like, for example, Euphemia's family and then, the vampires as well are probably, this is probably going to be a bit different for them.
Like
To
her
put it,
fam- Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like I was just gonna say, like Yvemi's family's been dealing with werewolves and kind of like unruly creatures for like generations at this point. It's this is for on Euphemia's side. This is more of the first time she's having to deal with this stuff on her own. None of her family members are with her.
Yeah, I think the same thing could probably be said for Victor, right?
Um, for my world, is my thought, and because these two, Sin's character, who's Victor, and Spelsey, who is Euphemia, they come from a place called Kinnerth, and it is basically your gothic theme. This is over the table. This is OOC, and this place is, I would say, plagued with werewolves and vampires and, other creatures of the night, I guess you could say. So that's where, of course, you have the Monster Hunter guilds, you have more intelligent vampires. And of course, from my world, vampires can be, you know, your evil person that wants to, make everybody their slave or, drink their blood, whatever, to even a person who is a vampire who just wants to live and maybe, you know, protect their family. So there's all different types, just how like there's always different types of people out there. So, but the werewolf situation is over the table, can be very scary.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's definitely going to be an issue. It's definitely going to be an issue. I think right now
Mhm.
we're just kind of focused on making it back to Feilu, and we do have our plans, but that's probably going to come up. And I guess we can't get too ahead of ourselves, but that might be a bit of a curveball.
What do you mean?
We shall see, light. We shall see.
Mhm.
And so we took a couple of days to just do a couple of things around the ship. Like I said, Voren, I don't know, tried to talk to Valentina, which is he was told about the person that or the symbol, I guess, that he was told about. He saw it at the temple on the ship. So now that he has some clarity, his whole thing is kind of changing to I need to get the most information about this as possible because he's an information thief. He just needs it. Um, doesn't like being in the unknown, and I think his his story is gonna kind of lean towards that moving forward, at least until you know answers are had. But he did make a promise he was gonna go to the temple at Feilu, and he's looking for books, trying to learn, because it's no longer about just this god or goddess. It's about the fact that there there's been a lot of you know god or whatever influence to our lives already since we've been together. So he's like, now this is something I can no longer be ignorant on. Like he needs to learn more. And so that's where he's at. And had a good chat with Celeste about it. Um
Mhm.
and I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna lead to. Valentina didn't answer. He didn't really think she would either. that's why he kind of makes it a joke. But I think the fact that he's making it a joke doesn't help the situation.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to take it more seriously at some point, and we'll see when we get there.
Yep.
So then what happened after that? Victor had a couple of things.
Well, was it the first day?
Yeah, that was the first day. I think the whole book thing was probably later on.
I think it was like the second day.
Yeah,
Or
but
the
he had
third day.
all the messages and things that he was trying out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was sending messages left and right. Messages to Nan, messages to his mother. Also the mysterious figure of the green-eyed with gold specks, to see if that would that come into
It was a good
light.
effort.
It was.
But like he had less information on that than Voren gave him.
Well, yeah, because I put it as more of a roll, of course, a roll of the dice to see if it were to go, to see if it will go through versus something intervening,
Right.
or did something intervene? Who
Yeah, like
knows?
it wasn't even up to chance at that point.
Yeah. And then of course Sushemia, who gave a great description of her father, which just went through. So that was good.
Yeah, our approaches to that were very different.
It was funny though.
Yeah, it was funny. It was just like this, and that. Voren's like, ooh, what can I tell you about Granny without getting myself killed?
I would say a little bit of part of me wished that you described your guild leader.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, yeah, when I was gonna do it, and I was like, this is not gonna go well for him. But somebody else brought up the point that so why will we contact her? It's like, okay, you're right.
Well, I mean, because how you said it, and it's funny because I wasn't gonna say anything, but my inner Celeste was like, wait, why? You're saying that you might get killed, you might get in trouble. Why would you do that?
It makes sense. It really does make sense. I was just like, she's not very friendly, not very welcoming, doesn't really like people. But yeah, message her.
Yeah.
Well, no, I said she's an old gnome lady. There's not that many at Felu.
Well, you guys took it by chance, so you picked the low. That was good.
Yeah, that
Because
was.
if it was high, oh, that would have been something else.
That was hilarious. Because it's like, okay, and then Sin was asking all the right questions too. Like, okay, so what does the place look like? Is there anything in detail that you can tell me? And I was like, I could, but I don't want to. So, there's a lot of things I can say right now, but I can't. Oh man, it was really funny. Just trying to be vague for something that needs the opposite of vagueness in these specifics. But it was good times. At least it worked. He talked to Nan. She's a sweetheart. The opposite of what Silvara would have done.
Oh man, I wish you hit the 50 though.
Oh man. I'm not even gonna ask you what it was because
No, because it might come up later.
Yeah, exactly. You might be able to still use it.
Mm.
But yeah, Sin has been just texting people back and forth. He's just been like sending DMs, and it's been great. It's been great. It's a very handy spell.
It is. But the first night, somebody had a dream.
Uh-huh.
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 Born's is gonna pick up day drinking, I swear. Vorn had a mysterious dream, a familiar dream of a woman, two women in a campsite. One was a tiefling, and the other one was an elf with red highlights on her hair. And then, like always, before any answers come up in said dreams, they vanish. And it's like, motherfucker. He's like, I don't know, like if it's not because like the voodoo queen kind of told him, like or because he had the conversation with the voodoo queen, he would think he's completely losing his fucking mind. And right now he's like 33% sure that he's just going crazy. but the other
33%?
But the other 66, it's he's hanging on. He's like, this must mean something. He said a name. He doesn't really know if these things are connected, but he's kind of sure. And now the goddess of the portals. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't even drink. It's interesting.
Maybe you
shit,
do
though.
and don't realize it.
Maybe, right? He goes like sleepwalking every night and like just starts downing wine.
Right?
Yeah.
He'll first the liquor cabinets in his sleep.
But yeah, Vorn's. But I will say, it wasn't alarming though. He's had these dreams that have been quick paced or alarming in one way or another. She's calling out to him. She's yelling, we need to leave or blah blah blah. And then this one wasn't. This one was a bit more relaxed. So that's welcome. That's that type of feeling is welcomed. At least he was able to fall back asleep at some point.
Must be nice.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna ask Victor if there's a spell that just keeps him awake at all times. Because that can't go wrong.
And then he'll actually start going crazy.
Right. Just start hallucinating.
Right.
From lack of sleep.
But yeah.
Not having sleep, there's penalties to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I mean we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Then what else? And the thing is, he doesn't talk to anybody about these things either. He's had several dreams that he just kind of keeps to himself. Just keep bottling it up, Vorn. See what that does.
He's gonna go pop eventually. He's gonna pop.
Just a big red explosion.
I mean, technically, some episodes ago, you both shared a dream, but nobody has said anything.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's internalizing shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember which dream that was.
Yeah, M9. What was it?
Jesus, what was the dream?
I'm gonna have to pull up my notes, aren't I?
We'll have to go back to the recap.
I don't know who
Well,
even
if
said
I've
in the
written
weekend.
it down, then it's in my notes.
How about this? It involved water elementals.
Oh, all the way back then. Fuck.
Was it like a PTSD dream?
I mean, you guys didn't talk about it, so.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was one of those things where we were meant to, we just never did it.
Yeah, because everything else is moving at 100 miles an hour.
And there's moments that have been slow.
Yeah. We have bad memory.
Too bad.
Plus, also, there's
Too
been
late
like a
now.
lot of tension, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we're not just going to sit down and talk about our dreams.
Or at least, like, Newfemi doesn't really know how to talk to Vorin when it comes to that type of shit. Whether he'd actually would believe her on what some of the shit she would probably tell him.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder if it would be like an empathetic thing or just like try to hide his real reaction. I'm curious, but we'll see. Oh, and Victor talked to the duchesses, right?
No. He talked to his. He talked to.
He talked, about the
Mother's
duchesses.
mother
Yeah. So he found out about the
and
duchesses and
Euphemia's father.
Euphemia's father. His mom was pretty damn informative. Thank you, Mama Not.
I mean, that is mom, so.
Yeah, that was great. But his father's still kind of like out of commission, right?
Mm-hmm. He's in a torpor, which is basically it wasn't really, I don't think, explained what it is, but for over the table purposes, this is basically a vampire stabbed in the heart and then kind of goes into that sleep.
He's in a
Yeah,
coma,
it's like a deep sleep, right?
Yeah. So, and then in the letter, she mentioned that he will be starving. And Sen, you're listening. It is very dangerous when you basically remove it. It is quite painful, and each day that passes is almost anywhere between 3 days to a week's worth. So he's been in torpor for a couple weeks now. So that's almost like a month. So it's going to be something.
Yeah, so what she's trying to say is that we should go over for the like wakening ceremony. Because you should be there with your friends, you know?
I mean, if anything, if that was an option, Euphemia would just be there to take notes. Because again, because that's kind of her job as a researcher for her family. She wants to learn everything.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, this is where her curiosity gets her in trouble a lot.
She's gonna be there to take notes. Crazy ass.
But yeah.
Vaughn's
So,
just gonna be like, I'll watch from back here.
In the shadows.
In the shadows.
Behind this rock.
I roll for stealth. I can't wait to meet Red. Shit is gonna be, yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious about that too. There's a lot of
I'll just
go ahead.
over the table. I'm actually pretty excited. Just saying.
Yeah.
When that comes up.
I know,
Whenever that comes up.
And
I'm
this
fucking
is-
excited too.
Yeah, me too. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. Is think about how Victor has been out of his element for so long. But once that home field advantage changes, like we're gonna be at a disadvantage out of our element. So it's like we're gonna have to rely on Victor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be
And, like,
interesting.
Yeah, and Euphemia is like in the familiar but not familiar territory. She's never really had to talk with vampires if she has to.
Right. Like Euphemia has like the knowledge, just like not really the on-field experience with them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool for like you guys's arc, and I mean I guess all of us, but I can't wait. I'm excited.
Mm.
So after a couple of the letters, we also found out that the portals will be opening. We found out from Nan.
Mhm.
And Voren's like, I knew it. Like, if I go to jail, I know who to call. It's not going to be Sylvar. She's going to be like, what did you do to get there? You deserve it, probably.
Mhm.
You fucked around and found out.
Yeah, you fucked around and found out. You got to learn your lesson now. I was like, okay, but are you going to bail me out? Nope. Yeah, so we found in a couple of weeks, right? So
Yeah,
that
so
gives us
by the time, I would say like when you are in Fei Lu, it will start the 11 days.
okay.
Like counting down the 11 days. So within those 11 days, find a job.
Yeah, because we can't portal for free.
Mm-mm.
But so it's good because even though we are going to be waiting those 11 days for the portals, we're still saving a lot of travel time.
Yeah.
With the portal. So it's like yeah, we might spend more time in Feilu than we anticipated, but in the back end, we'll make up for it.
Yeah. And what's nice, during this, it was like 3-4 days, still on the ship, Victor did talk to a certain person of the collective, Christoph. So there would be some kind of letter or invitation waiting at the postal for him.
Oh yeah, that was huge. Now we don't know if this is the same event. Like there's no way of us knowing that until we compare, right?
Correct.
Compare the invitations, see if there's similarities or whatever. It could be a completely different event. It can be a smaller event or whatnot, but it is a great step in that direction. I was really happy that Victor tried that out. Because yeah, I mean the way the Voren saw it was like, I mean, I have had my interactions with them, but my interactions with them have always been in a fetcher sort of way. You know, like I've only ever been hired. I've never been seen like as an equal or a buyer or anything. And so that's why Voren was like, wait a minute, you two can probably, you know? So we'll see. It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then within those days, somebody else had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
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 You know, talk
Go
about
on.
it. Yeah.
So basically, sorry, I'm trying to eat a pretzel. Okay. So, what had happened with the dream Euphemia had was that it was kind of a nightmare mixed with a semi-familiar memory. It was about the time when her and her brother hadn't been taken in by the Knight family yet. So this is when they were still young. And it was in a cabin. There were werewolves running about, and they were trying to get in. And this is where the few parts that Euphemia is seeing for the first time. She doesn't really remember this. Is that seeing Laura and the teddy bear pushing the door to keep it closed and barred. And her brother trying to keep her calm, and it's just like, it's going to be okay. They're not going to get in. Laura just saying, just be quiet, just stay quiet. Something hits the side of the cabin really hard. And then, almost as if it seemed that they were going to break in, with the door beginning to crack. Laura sends the teddy bear out, and it gets bigger and angrier. At that moment, I thought of like Annie with the Tibbers moment. When I first heard that. But yeah, so like the whole thing with Laura and the teddy bear, I don't think she fully remembered that part. Yeah, but once she like woke up after that, she was just like, okay, I don't like that. I don't want to be by myself. I want to actually talk to a person. So that's why she went to Victor.
Ooh. Ship it.
I mean, I
that,
already shipped Warren and Celeste, so.
that was a nice scene, though, between Victor and Euphemia.
Mhm.
It was a scene where, I mean, you guys have obviously felt comfortable with each other since the beginning, even more so now. But you can tell that you guys are comfortable, kind of letting down your guard a bit, and actually caring, being empathetic for the other. And I think that honestly Victor needs that just as much as she does. So it was a cool scene for sure.
Mm-hmm. Such a sweet scene. It was very happy. I mean, it made me very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sweet. Victor is an actual person sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, he offered his bed. Vorn would have been like, you can sleep on the floor because you'll mess up my bed.
Well, that's why she didn't go to Warren.
I'm kidding. Sometimes, but only sometimes. Yep. Listen, Vorn could be a sweetheart, something, here and there.
I mean, maybe, but he's been kind of aggressive towards Euphemia, so.
Yeah,
Euphemia's still kind of like, kind of standoffish with him.
he's been kind of aggressive. We talked about that before. It's like how Victor tends to get scolded more than Vorn does, but Vorn tends to be more disrespectful than Victor at times.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just got really interesting. But it's all right, we're all learning.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point Warren and Euphemia will be on better terms, but right now she's just like, I don't know how to talk to you, so I'll talk to you if I need to, or when we're talking together as a group. But any like personal stuff, I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah, I get that for sure, and I think it's kind of mutual. He often doesn't really, not really a sharer unless he needs to be, and so far he kind of only feels like sharing with people that have something to hide as well, or that are hesitant as well. Um, and the people that have shared something with him, he's like, all right, like we'll trade, I guess.
I
And I
mean,
mean,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Celeste actually opened up to him.
Yeah,
She said that she's a warlock. Nobody knows that she was.
yeah. And I guess he's also let this out before, but like in a dismissive manner of how he was abandoned as a child. Didn't, like, he said it kind of as a joke, but there's truth in jest, and
Hmm.
he kind of brought it up again with her, as in like what kind of gods allow children to be abandoned, like children like us. And so that's just kind of like another nugget out there of what's actually
Mhm.
inside of him.
Well, maybe that's something, or at least a little bit of bonding between Lauren and Euphemia, because over the table, I believe I've said this before, it's just like her and her brother lost their family, so they're adopted
Hmm.
into the Knight family. They're not biologically their children.
Yeah, that would be cool to learn at some point. I think that there's all those little tidbits of backstory and lore that we just haven't really gotten a chance to like dip our feet into.
Mm-hmm.
For one reason or another, like whether it's personality clashes or we're just fighting shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like we also spoke about it before that like I Vaughn is so curious about Nyx, but Nyx doesn't say anything, you know. And but he wants to learn about him because it's like a first, it's like a connection to like the Fey realm that he's never had before. And yeah, he wants to take it as a kind of learning opportunity. But one day.
Yes, one day.
But what else? Yeah, the sweet moment between them. Um, we'll get them to go on a date soon.
Mhm. He even offered, if you want to come by again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he gave her a key. What?
Yeah, he did. He did give her a key.
I was like, damn, slow down, buddy. But it was like in the most sweet way too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was interesting. You wanna give us the behind the scenes of what was going on through Euphemia's head?
Wait, what? Okay, so
So what happened was, yeah.
Yeah.
um honestly, in terms of like what's going on in like Euphemia's head with all this, is just like she sees Victor as this person who's just like there's more to him than what people are seeing, but she's also trying to be patient and kind of teach him some things that she was taught and he doesn't really fully understand. And as they've been getting closer, she's just like, how would you put this? Um, it's kind of like an opposites attract kind of thing. Because
Yeah,
like
it's
similar, yes, but they're also completely two different opposite people.
yeah, for sure. And it's something that you have to be very careful with because it can easily go from um being an opposites attract thing to not being compatible or almost coming off judgmental, even if it's not really what you mean. Or, the one thing that ruins a lot of like newer relationships or something that's being built is the idea of somebody changing you, right? It's like, and in a situation like this, that can go wrong quickly.
Oh yeah. And as like Euphemia is learning about Victor, she doesn't want to like change him in the sense of like how he has in terms of like completely like 180 of things. It's just like it's more of like trying to show him just like, hey, look at this from this perspective. Hold on a second and think before doing what you normally would do.
And then he got the fucking book.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking book is gonna be hilarious.
That's gonna be funny to see how that goes. But yeah, she enjoys Victor. She really likes Victor, and he probably heard her heart's like kind of quicken a little bit when he when he kissed her hand.
Yeah, don't be fooled. The guy's a monster. No, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see that develop further. But yeah, so what else happened after that?
Magpie finally woke up.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a couple of people out because Minerva was sick and Magpie had IRL stuff. But yeah, so then she came in and you got her caught up.
She did some things. Checked on the boy, talked to Glenn, and talked to the captain. And she was the only one out of the rest of the people to actually came and talk to her and see how she is. Well, the captain. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. She has erased her name from basically history. Anybody who knows her doesn't know her true name. So she goes by the Spice Queen. And so they had a good conversation between Spice Queen and Magpie, to the point where she had to go and she basically leaped out of the ship. So
Yeah. What the fuck is that about?
Who knows? Nobody's gonna ask her.
I think like with Euphemia's case, like she'll talk to the captain, but like she also is just like, I don't want to pry. I want to be nosy.
I mean, she did say if anybody wants to talk to her, you know where she's at, but nobody did.
Yeah, it's so weird though. Now it's even weirder. She's a fucking goddess. It's like
she's also going through like, oh god, I just became a god. What the fuck, dude? So
I mean,
giving her processing time. I don't know.
Exactly, Sin. That's exactly how I feel as Vaughn. It's like I don't like he respected her as a captain, and because of that, the Wind Dancer's always been looked up to at the docks, but now it's like Jesus. It's like what the fuck?
Well,
not like Jesus, but like it's a lot. So he feels a little intimidated socially by her.
Well, I mean, Magpie's the only one that found out that she actually died 3 times.
Which is weird as fuck because Magpie's the most antisocial one of all of us.
Right.
But I mean,
she's been told. Yeah, I mean, she's been told to basically don't act like herself. Maybe she's she's learning the ropes because she's always been the person that's behind the scenes or watching and not going forward. And, she went to a certain point where it's like even the captain, like before all this, talking to her, it's like, just eat something. And instead of like really like picking at something or not eating, she's actually eating because, technically your body needs nourishment. And, Magpie has lived a lonely life, even though she had some things that she could have done, but she might have reasons why she's doing this. And, at the end, which I'm going to fast forward a little bit, I think, no, this wasn't talk. I think this was mostly talk behind the scenes, is that Magpie's room, if you were to go in there, it doesn't look like a bedroom. It looks like a storage room with crates and boxes and stuff. And, you know, um, so that would have been a huge question for you guys, but it didn't come to light. Huh. So, yeah. So there's reasons why she's doing this, and it's kind of cool that she's stepping out of her box, per se, and talking and getting to know. Now she's going to tell you guys what the Spice Queen said? Who knows? We'll see. Y'all keep your secrets and I'll keep mine.
Oh man. Yeah, it's actually really interesting to see where Magpie is now, as you know, from when we started.
Mhm.
She has really stepped out of her comfort zone quite a bit. Even though a lot of us are like not understanding or slightly judgmental on some of the decisions she makes, when you step back and you actually look at it, she is doing things that don't come naturally to her, and that's
Mhm.
really cool.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah. So after we caught her up, what else happened later in the end?
Um,
I think that was pretty much it, right?
Pretty much it. There is the undead monkey that's about. um,
Mm-hmm.
and I know when you guys are finally, seeing Feilu, Victor did get some grapes. So we'll see if he tries to coax the monkey to come with you guys. Which is funny because all of you like the undead monkey. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
the undead monkey is awesome. It should be our
Family,
mascot.
feels bad for the monkey. She feels bad for the monkey.
Yeah, and actually, like what Victor brought up too was such a great point too. It's like, like, isn't this a punishment to the monkey that's like has to be um stuck living in afterlife now? And it's like Warren's just like, I don't give a shit, but he's like, I just think it would be kind of cool to have an undead monkey.
Oh man.
But Victor having the existential question. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, so we took a couple of hours to gather our things, say our goodbyes, and basically get ready to dock at Feilu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is winter time, so it's cold,
Ugh.
and they have to prep themselves for the winter, especially going up to a snowy mountain.
Yep. Not looking forward to it as Warren.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Just wearing all that extra clothing.
Winter gear. Yay, cute.
Do I have to tuck my tail in? Is it gonna get frostbitten? All these questions.
Oh my god. Yeah, you and Celeste have Our tieflings, they both have tails.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to ask Leslie. What do you do about your tail in the cold? Is that a personal question?
Wait, did you never ask? What's her name? I just blanked on her name. Hold on, let me see. Does Wynn not have a tail?
Wynn does have a tail.
So would you ask her?
I don't ask
Probably
Wynn
not.
anything that I don't have to ask.
Oh man, questions as a tiefling.
Yeah, it's like the women in his life scare him, except for Nan. No, not all the women. There's a lot of sweet people, but yeah, Wynn and Silvara are like, ooh boy, proceed with caution.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That was it for the episode. We are back at Felu. It's cold, and we'll see where we go from here because we have to make some money. We have to get some equipment, and get ready for our next journey.
Exactly.
We'll see what Light has up her sleeve for us.
We'll see what I don't know. I have to think. My mind goes everywhere. I already have stuff that I want, but now I need to do stuff in the middle.
You think that fence still needs painting?
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe the thing's still there. We'll see.
We'll see. Bunch of lazy bastards at Felu if nobody's painted that fence.
Well, that's the reason why nobody has painted that fence.
Yeah, I remember that Light was like, I was disappointed that you guys didn't go. So I'm like, ooh, what does she have up her sleeve?
But I think I answered it. I think I did say what it was, but it was not during the game, but it was over there, the table
like
kind of thing.
Another recap session or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, guys, that is it for us for today. Until next week. Like I said before, if you guys want to get caught up or like jump into the story where we're at, you can just kind of watch the recap episodes. It'll be a lot faster. Or if you want to watch the entire sessions as they are, you can do so as well. And yeah, we'll see you next time with episode 19 on Sunday, 6:30 EST. 19.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm going to be honest, this is officially the longest D&D campaign I've been in.
Yay! And just think, Spelcy has been in a 3-year campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, normally by now the people that I have played with in the past just kind of fall apart. So thank you guys for sticking together.
For sure.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time. You all have a good one. Bye-bye.